Who are you? And tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Alexandra. Um, I'm 15. Oh, that's a bit old. I'm very loud. I'm a very loud person. I'm very loud. Actually, too loud. Um, what else do I need to say?
Yeah. Do you identify with any particular language group?
I don't know my language group.
Where are you in 2020? So you're at Woodleigh School?
Yes, at Woodleigh School, which I'm very happy at Woodleigh School. I'm very grateful for the opportunities here. Um, but like 2020, I'm probably not where I thought I would be, considering our circumstances.
What grade are you in?
Oh, I'm in grade 9.
Yep.
Yeah,
How do you define Aboriginality?
fine. I think Aboriginality is really just being proud of yourself and your culture, um, and just being comfortable with your. I guess it's a personal journey, Aboriginality. Um, and yeah, being open about learning, yeah, and listening.
What makes a person an elder?
I mean, of course, there's customs and age that contribute, but to be a good elder, I think it's just someone who cares about their country and their people and wants to teach others.
What qualities make up an effective Aboriginal leader?
Ooh, um, I guess someone who wants to teach others about their culture, someone who looks out for others in their community, and someone who is also open to learning, because I just think learning is it's a really big part of of it.
Do you actually have an Aboriginal hero? And if so, who and why are they your hero? And this can be a sporting person, an acting person, a whatever person. Yeah.
I mean they're not famous, not many people know them, but I would say my uncle Larry, because um he he didn't get to have the opportunities like everyone else did when he was younger, and he's gone back now um, and educated himself more. And yeah, I'm proud of him for doing that. And now he's educating people.
What's one or two Aboriginal stereotypes that you hear about all the time?
I mean, it's not really a stereotype, as more of a statement.
Yep.
But the one that I hear a lot is, but without colonization, your people wouldn't have phones or wouldn't have electronics, which, I mean, to me personally, I think if I were to choose between my phone or reversing the mass genocide of our country, I think I know which one I would choose.
I
So,
haven't heard that one before, so that one's thrown me a little bit. But wow, thanks for sharing that one.
yeah, I hear that one a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explain to people about Aboriginality or culture or something you would want to stereotype you want to break. What would you do? How would you do it and what would you say?
I think it's really hard to answer that question, because everyone has their own opinions about it, um, and you have to address them politely.
How do you define racism?
Ooh, racism. I mean, I think it can be anything really. I mean, it can be that, that glare or that uncertain surprise on someone's face when you tell them you're Aboriginal, or it can be a lot more blatant than that, like name calling or bullying. There are different varying degrees of racism, and I think it affects everyone.
Can you explain a time that you faced racism? What happened and how did this make you feel?
Right. So, I mean, I get it. I get it a lot. Those surprised looks and the "oh really," but I think one that, when I was reading through the questions, would definitely be when I was a lot younger, maybe first grade, and I was walking through through the streets in the NAIDOC parade, and I would get glares from the parents or even from some of the darker kids that were there, and it made me really question whether I was Aboriginal enough to be walking with them. Yeah, and that's probably the first time that I remember.
Do you think racism's changed over time, or do you think it's still there but just in different forms?
It's definitely changed. I think people are more open-minded about it, and people view it in a different way now. Not saying that it still has a long way to come, um, but I think it's moving forward, but slowly.
What makes you proud to identify as being Aboriginal?
I guess I'm proud of. I'm just proud of how strong we all are to, you know, to talk about it and to educate people and say that enough is enough, and to, yeah, to just tell people that actually that's wrong, and to stand together. I guess that makes me proud.
What aspects of Aboriginal culture do you feel has been lost within your family?
Or as I said before, I don't know my language group. I don't. Yeah, so that would I. None of my family speaks it.
If you had your own kids, what aspects of culture do you want them to know, and how are you going to teach them that?
I mean, there's a lot of things about my culture that I don't know. So I guess if I were to have, I mean, I don't want kids, but if I were to have kids, um, I guess first we'd kind of have to learn it together. But I would definitely try and educate them about the history and what it was like before colonization as well, and teach them the customs and the things that come with that.
What aspects of Aboriginal culture do you and your family participate in?
Less than we should. Less than we should. Um, I guess my nana is a lot more involved in it than the rest of my family is, but she still weaves the baskets and tells stories to me,
Yeah.
but not as a community.
How do you think we can change the views of non-Indigenous people to understand our stories?
I think people think that the stories are just stories, but they're a lot more than that. They're really educational, and they do teach you things. And I think it starts with that mindset that they're just stories, but they're not. They have a lot deeper meaning than that.
Like what?
How the land is cared for, and what we can learn from the mistakes that may have been made.
Do you think Woodleigh schools had a number of programs to help Aboriginal students? What are some of those programs, and how have you benefited from them?
I mean, the partnership with Woodleigh is really, really strong, and the things they do with Woodleigh is, I think, teaches us a lot. But I also feel like we should be educating the people from our school that aren't Indigenous, and we should be bringing them along as well.
Yeah. If I paired you with a young, I don't know, year 3 student in the primary school and said, you be their mentor, where would you start this mentoring relationship with them?
They're hard children, but I don't know. I mean, in my primary school, in year 3, it was very story based and it was very craft based. So I think that was really a really great way to learn. So I would probably go with that.
What is the one thing you want people to be aware of?
I think what I would, especially the students at school, I think what I would want them to understand that the the acknowledgements at the start of assemblies and the smoking ceremonies, they're more than just an acknowledgement or a smoking ceremony. They go a lot deeper to the community, to the country and the people. And yeah, I would want them to know a bit more about that and to educate themselves as well.
Thank you very much for agreeing to be part of this project.
Thank
We're
you.
glad that you're involved.